I was waiting for this part. Oh my gosh. So this is probably my second favorite feature after the key or the keyless door system. Hi guys, my name is Taylor and I've been living in Korea for 4 years and I'm a teacher here. Recently, I uploaded a video about my apartment here in Korea and it's gotten so much attention and people really seem to like it. So today I'm going to show you that video and kind of explain what is unique about apartments here in Korea. Yeah, I live alone. Yeah, so this apartment was actually provided to me by my school here in Korea. Yeah, so this is my third apartment here in Korea, but also probably the best apartment I've lived in. Ooh, so one of my favorite parts about Korean apartments is the electric keypad. Oh my gosh, it is so helpful. So you don't really see these types of locks on apartments or homes back in the US. Maybe they're becoming more popular now, but you have to get them installed separately. But having them here, I love that I don't have to take my keys everywhere to unlock my apartment, and it's just so simple that way, and it's definitely like one of my favorite parts about living in apartments in Korea. Yeah. The same thing, just everything about this door, just the camera for the doorbell. Oh my gosh. So again, you can have these installed separately in the US, but I don't think many people get them installed. And the fact that they almost come standard here in Korea is so useful. The fact that I can unlock my door after someone pushes the doorbell just like blows my mind. You don't see that in the US. Shoe closet. Okay, I have to pause this here too because again, this is one of I have so many great things to say about Korean apartments, but shoe closets. I never had a shoe closet before coming to Korea, and the fact that it's by the door is so convenient. Usually you would have to buy a separate rack for your shoes that I think I would usually just keep in my regular closet. You would never have like a built-in feature to keep all your shoes, and the fact that it fits all my shoes is amazing. So shoe closets are so useful. The light people have commented on this too, just how you're able to turn off all the lights in your apartment by the click of a button. Oh my God, I think just Korean apartments overall are so technologically just like above and beyond anything I would see in America. Or you would see this, but it would be in really expensive apartments in America. So just stuff like this, just, it's so modern, I love it. My parents all the time would tell me when I was younger, remember to turn off the lights, don't spend our money with all the lights on. But here you have buttons like this if you forget. Ooh, taking off the shoes. I think I need I'm sorry, I feel like I'm pausing like all the time. But I think the beginning is really important for cultural differences, especially with taking off your shoes in the house. Like Korea, I feel like it's just standard, you know, that you always take off your outside shoes before entering into the place you live, which makes sense. You don't want your dirty shoes inside. But I feel like in a lot of American homes, actually, they don't take off their shoes when they enter inside. But I like this because I like keeping my house clean, so. Shower shoes. There are so many differences, I'm so sorry. So, wearing shoes in a bathroom is so different when I first came to Korea. Like, and it makes sense. Like, I love wearing my bathroom shoes now, but I can't remember what it feels like, you know, back in the US. So having like shower shoes like this, you know, that was something I definitely had to get used to coming to Korea. So very different. Yep. So this is the first bathroom I've actually had a divider in, which is more Western than the Korean bathrooms I was used to before. So of course, in Korea you have like the wet room, and I had never experienced that before. Right, so actually in the apartments I lived in, and even my like homes when I lived with my parents, the shower would be in a bathtub. You would have the bathtub and the shower, so if you want to take a bath, you could, or you can use the shower, but all the water would just stay in the bathtub. You would step out and everything else would be dry. We would have a double layer shower curtain. One side would go in the bathtub, so the water would just like kind of sink down that way, and then one outside for more like decoration. Yeah, I love all the storage. I would probably say storage so many times in this video because I am in love with how well the space is laid out and how well the space is used for storage. Having to fit everything in my apartment, it's a small space, but it all fits so well because of how many closets, how many cabinets and stuff there are in the apartment is so nice. You don't see that kind of smart apartment layout usually, I feel like, in apartments back in the US. Yeah, kitchens in Korea are a lot smaller than what I'm used to. Even this, but the lack of counter space, it's really hard to cook at home. But yeah, in American apartments, kitchens are a lot bigger. It's still a really good use of space. I was so impressed that you could pull out the fan. I was like, ooh, cool. Technology. Food trash. Talk about the recycling more later, but the idea of food trash is so, or I guess was so new to me. In the US, we would just put everything in the trash. We could even put recycling in the trash if we were just too lazy to put it in separate recycling. But having to separate the food here takes a lot of thought process, especially coming from someone in America. Now I think having to know where to put that food, I try to have the least amount of food waste as possible. So I'm like, okay, Taylor, eat everything because we can't have anything left over. How you recycle here, it's just so specific. Even the trash can, you know, and having specific bags to put your trash in. Ooh, that was a lot to take in my first year in Korea because it was so different. Yes, okay. Undles. I was waiting for this part. Oh my gosh. So this is probably my second favorite feature after the keyless door system. So having a floor heating system in Korea is amazing. Like, you don't know what you're missing until you've experienced some floor heating in the middle of winter. And I'm someone that gets cold really easily, so my feet are always cold, my hands are always cold, but specifically my feet. So stepping out after, like, you know, waking up and I'm like just freezing, but having like a nice hot, like warm floor is like the best feeling in the world. And the fact that it's able to heat up the whole apartment is so nice. And I think it's like one of the best parts about Korean apartments here, because it's definitely a Korean system. You don't see that in the US. And I think more countries should do it because it's so nice. This is the most efficient space I've ever seen. How cute it is. It is definitely the most efficient apartment I've ever lived in. Again, so much storage, so great use of space. Even though it's the smallest apartment I've ever lived in, it feels like the most spacious just because how well the space is used. I have a huge respect for nations that have made recycling an everyday part of their life. Not recycling doesn't make sense. Agreed. Yeah, I think now, especially with global warming and more attention on what we're doing for the environment, recycling and other things we're doing to help the earth is becoming a lot more important. And this is, I think, one thing they can look at Korea too, of how to make it a better system, because it is so specific the way you have to organize each one. You know, even when I go, I think I have 3 sections in my recycling bin, but even when I go take out the recycling, I have to separate those recycling pieces into like 50 more sections. So, but it's really nice how well Korea manages that, because that's something I never saw before moving here. I was so shook when you opened that closet and it was a fridge. Yes, oh my god, it's so cool. Like, I only saw designs like that in like more expensive apartments in the US. So finally having an apartment that looks like that and has a fridge that just blends in with the closet wall, I think is like one of the coolest things. I am a Korean living in Canada. What I miss most is the warm feeling of the floor. I can't sleep at night because of the hot air blowing noise from the ducts. I hope you have a good time in Korea. Oh, that's so nice. But I agree. I think having the floor heating and not having to deal with that in winter is so nice. Yeah, my family and my friends saw this video and they love just how technologically advanced and how well the space is laid out. And they're like, I want to be a teacher in Korea now because this is amazing. Yeah. I hope so, because that's why I bought the little floor mat. So I was like, if anyone wants to stay with me, I have the Korean floor mat that you see here. So awesome, people. Today I talked about the difference between a Korean apartment and a US apartment. I also showed you a video of my apartment tour and how people have reacted to the video. So if you guys want to keep up with my journey here in Korea, you can follow me on my YouTube page, Taylor with an E. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I will see you guys later. Bye.